Hello everybody, welcome to Bad Big Games. I'm your host Joseph, and today we are talking about the possibility of PlayStation's remote play heading to things like the Nintendo Switch, your Xbox, or even your Apple TV. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, Future Joe, start the show. Now, just like every video that I do here, I want to let you all know I got this story from Nintendo Life, and then I also saw it on Push Square, and it comes from a Reddit user by the name of You Read It Here First. I almost don't believe the story because this name is too good and it's too pure, but apparently they got a survey that asked them a slew of questions about the future of remote play. And if you guys and gals don't know what remote play is, it is an app on your PlayStation Vita, RIP, where back in the day you were able to take your PlayStation 4 games and play it on your PlayStation Vita. And it would also, some games like Destiny or Fallout 4 would actually sometimes optimize their controls to fit the Vita as well. It was freaking awesome. But after the support of the Vita died, then they took this app and put it on your MacBook, they put it on your mobile devices, and they gave you the ability of playing games like Spider-Man on your iPhone or on your Android phone, and it worked, wink wink nudge nudge, not very well, but it's still an option. And so with that, walking into this news, I'm excited just at the possibility that PlayStation might be looking to upgrade this app to make it functional, because as we're seeing over the past year with things like xCloud and with things like Google Stadia, rip for a future rip, you know, it's all about taking the console and putting it in the cloud and making sure that you're able to play your PlayStation content wherever you are. So with that said, again, take it with a grain of salt, but this is what the Reddit user has said, and we're going to go down this list one by one. So first and foremost, the Reddit user says this: I just took a survey for PlayStation regarding their remote play, and there are some interesting questions that possibly hint at upcoming features. 1. Using remote play with a PlayStation 4 not connected to the internet. That's interesting. For me, this kind of seems like PlayStation's hinting at some type of Game Pass way of playing your games without being necessarily connected to the internet or not having the greatest internet, because from what I'm aware of, how Game Pass works is you have Game Pass as an Xbox player, you download said game, and when you want to play that game, when you turn on your Xbox and when you turn on that app, it'll actually ping the server at Xbox telling them that, hey, you're a Game Pass user, and then they allow you to use that game. So right off the bat, that seems like a feature that is going to be implemented. That is something that is, I think, just a no-brainer. But let's get to the second one, because that's the real exciting one. Playing remote play on a Switch, Apple TV, or Android TV. And with an amendum here, they also mention an Xbox as well later down in a paragraph. Wow. Okay, so how do I feel about this? Well, I kind of feel like it's how every gamer kind of feels, whether they admit it or not, is that, again, it's not about consoles anymore. Consoles are great. I love my PlayStation 4. I love my Xbox One. That's where I do plan on playing all of my console games, but it's also about platform. They want you to play your PlayStation everywhere. They want you hooked up to that ecosystem everywhere. So giving you the ability, like for me, I look at this saying, hey, if for some reason someone's using my TV, all I need to do is go downstairs to the other TV that has the Apple TV, and I just plug my, controller, Bluetooth, connect it, and I'm just playing my PlayStation games there. That sounds pretty awesome. Also, let's just be real with each other here. Playing on a Nintendo Switch does sound really fun, being able to play your PlayStation games wherever, but it is a Nintendo Switch, and that wireless on that console is just not very good. So I would like to see an offline mode of PlayStation Now, whatever, remote play on a Switch, but then at the same exact time, I would just, one game would take up a whole SD card. So it's cool in theory, but I don't know how realistic that actually is. 3. Hiding unused controls for a game to allow for more screen real estate. This is a must. This is something that absolutely is going to happen as we're seeing more games with the ability of hiding their UI. This needs to be a thing because this is why I can't game on mobile. There's just too much clutter around the screen, and with my thumbs on the screen, I can't see jack shit. So hiding an UI is a must. 4. A slim/portable DualShock controller for portable gaming. This is also, I think, a no-brainer. I think everybody's working on this. I mean, even Phil Spencer in a tweet had his phone connected playing Destiny with a third-party controller that plugs into both sides of the phone. So I think this is a no-brainer, and I think companies are figuring out ways of having a slim alternative where it's not just in my pant pocket, just like hugging my thigh. Maybe it's like a phone case, how like wallet cases are, but instead there's a controller at the end of it, kind of like the PlayStation phone. Remember that? Okay. Number 5, exclusive maps/accessories for remote play. Now, I'm a dumb idiot. I don't know what maps is. Do they mean mapping buttons? That's cool. I would love to see that. But accessories, maybe they're also thinking about pie in the sky, plugging a headphone jack and being able to play with your wireless headphones and talk shit to people while you're on the bus to commute. But if it also means that, mobile gaming, they're going to try to make it more accessible, totally down for that. 6. Customizable button layout. So I just mentioned that before. This should be just a thing in all games. Please and thank you. 7. Connecting other controllers, Xbox, and mouse and keyboard. Give people options. Please. This is cool. We saw Xbox do this at XO where they announced, hey, in the future with xCloud, we want everybody to play the way they want. And if that is with a, third-party controller or with a DualShock, they'd let you do it. So PlayStation doing the same just means that more people who prefer an Xbox controller or are Xbox players get into that ecosystem way easier. 8. Offline remote play. Okay, now we're being a little redundant here, but yeah, this is really cool. Being able to just say, hey, I want to download said game onto my Switch, awesome, or onto my iPad, awesome, and playing natively so that we don't have to rely on streaming is great. This is something that people are beating Sony over the head for with PlayStation Now, is that some games still require you to be streamed, and some people just don't have great internet. So being able to download that game, being able to download God of War on my Nintendo Switch, God bless my Nintendo Switch, cool. 9. PS1 and PS2 games. This goes with the theory that the PlayStation 5 is completely backwards compatible, and that PlayStation's messaging with this console is that it's all about celebrating the history of PlayStation. And I've heard that lingo from more than one person, and I do think that this really does scream they're going to try to do some type of backwards compatibility with PS1 and PS2 games. As we know, PS3, it was a bad console. And so with that cell architecture, sadly, some games, because of bad decisions, won't be able to be played, and that kind of sucks. And then 10, parental controls to allow multiple users to use remote play at the same exact time. Now, lastly, the user does also mention that PlayStation alludes to the fact that you're able to, on the mobile app or on the app itself, if you're streaming, control the audio and visual quality of the game. And so that would help, with lag and buffering while you're playing on the go. And for me, that just sounds amazing because I know when I'm playing on the go, I don't care about having a 1080p experience. I just want the game to work. And I think that's what makes the Switch so appealing, is that, look, the screen is 720p. And even with some games right now on the Switch, they don't even play at 720p when you're in handheld, right? So you don't really care because you're still playing a console experience on the go, so you give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt. And so seeing that here in a streaming like environment just gives me hope that these companies are understanding what consumers are wanting out of a streaming service. And it's not high fidelity, it is just the low bar of I just want to play God of War on the go. So that gives me hope. Now, what do I feel about this survey in general? It's also giving me hope that Sony is trying to future-proof the brand, and it sees what Google Stadia is doing, and it's seeing what Xbox is doing, and it's not just shutting itself out, it's looking at its options as well. So that's what I really like. Look, none of these things could happen, all of these things could happen, or some of these things could happen. And I think it would be great for PlayStation to go out there and explore the unknown, because right now, I know it sounds crazy, but like, when we take a look at Xbox and what Phil Spencer is doing with that platform by saying, hey, we want you to play our games anywhere, that means that there's a future. And with this survey, a future where I could play Gears of War on my PlayStation, right? Just with Sony alluding to the fact of, hey, what if we put a PlayStation app on an Xbox, means that future is possible. And that gets me really excited. This is awesome. And I'm just so excited for the next generation of Xbox, of PlayStation, more than the next generation of consoles. And I hope people are as well, because this has me jazzed. So at the end of the day, I want to know, what bullet point was your favorite? What would you like to see in a remote play feature? What do you think this means? Because to me, I really think they're rebooting what remote play and PlayStation Now is, for sure. I think they're going to be one app, and I think it's going to resemble a lot like Game Pass, and I think we're going to see it when the PlayStation 5 gets revealed. So again, that's all my thoughts. I could be totally wrong. Who knows? The sky's the limit. So let me know in the comment section down below. But here at Bad Bit Games, we cover breaking news like this, reviews, and the next gen in general, and a PlayStation podcast called The Trophy Room. You should check it out. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, please hit like, share, subscribe, keep your wits about you, and have a nice one.